Back on the podcast, really happy to be joined by Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants. Saquon is participating along with other NFL players and gamers in something I have absolutely no clue about. It's the Verizon 5G Stadium in Fortnite. Fans will be able to tune in on Twitch and on Twitter, and you are going to be able to watch this. Verizon 5G, you're going to be able to watch this from 7 different camera angles, no lag time on the Verizon 5G Super Stadium in the NFL app. So, Saquon, I've just read this thing, and I am a total video game idiot. I don't play them. I don't do them. And I've got 2 big questions about this. Okay, number 1, why is it that almost every player in the NFL absolutely loves video games? They love Fortnite. They spend so many waking hours doing this. What is it about that a 63-year-old man is missing out on?
I think it's just attraction to the game. You can play with your friends. You can play solo. You get to get that little competitive edge out. So for me, I've always was into video games, but kind of got more into video games with the injury this year. You got a lot more time on your hand, so you gotta find things to replace it. But it's a fun game. It's a fun game, and Verizon, what they're doing is pretty cool, and I'm excited to be able to do that today.
Does your competitive streak really come out when you're playing?
Yes. Sadly, to say that.
Are you a jerk when you play?
It depends how bad I lose. You still gotta be smart about the things that you say. You can't really say what you want to say, but there's some times where I catch myself and I'm like, "All right, come on, Saquon, it's a video game. You gotta do better."
So, are the same players who are really good at sports really good at video games?
That's
No?
not true. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. You could be as talented as you want in sport, but the video games is like a whole different world. There's some like true elite talented players that like you watch and play, and you're just like, whoa! Like I could put in 10 hours a day, and I will never be that good as that person.
Okay, so who in football is really, really good? Like, do you have any teammates who are great at video games who, when you play them
Um,
at Fortnite, they might just drown you?
mhm. Trying to think, my teammates. I know none of them was on a level like a T2 or no cyber level guys. But who's the best one? I'll say the best one I personally know would have been my teammate, would be my boy from home. Wow, we call him the Great One. I would say he's probably one of the best ones I've seen on a video game.
Okay, now, he's not a football player?
We grew up
Oh,
playing.
you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
his claim to fame is he started over me in high school. So
Wow. Okay, so one other video game question before you get into this big deal tonight. I wonder, is there anything about it that relaxes you, or does it simply fill time before you have to do whatever it is you're going to do next?
I would say it fills time. Can fill up a lot of time, to be honest. Uh, you can look down, it's 1 o'clock, and before you know it, it can be 5, 4, just like that. It's fun. It's fun. It's entertaining. They get creative with the game. It challenges you. Especially when you first get in there, you're completely awful. And like it's like that's how they get you. It's like you suck at the game. You're like, all right, how can I get better? And then you catch yourself watching like a YouTube clip of other people playing. I would say more for filling up time, especially with time now during the season when I had so much more time on my hand. I would say that's what I definitely use it for.
And can you watch other people play video games? Like, I live in Brooklyn, and one day, this is a year or so ago, there was like 18,000 people at Barclays Center watching people play video games. and it's like it's become a spectator sport now.
Yeah.
So is
They're
that
making good money
interesting
too.
to you at all?
Nah. I mean, like, I might watch a clip or here, just to see, like, wow, like, that person amazing, and, like, or, like, to learn a little something. But, like, to sit and watch someone else play video games, unless you're, like, watching on Twitch, like, a lot of fans watching on Twitch, but, like, to actually go to a stadium and, like, watch it like a sporting event, I don't know if I personally would be into that, but there's a lot of people who are, so I can't fault them for it.
Okay, and explain one other thing. This event you're doing tonight in playing Fortnite, like, are people from all over going to be tuning in and watching you? Is there going to be any sort of feeling like you're playing a game?
I guess you could say anyone from they can tune in from anywhere on Twitch to be able to watch today. But yeah, I guess in a stadium that we have and in a little race that we're going to be doing and putting on, I guess you could say it's going to have a little game vibes to it. So I'm definitely going to be prepared and try to wherever I can, how many times I can win as much as I can.
Yeah. So Saquon, let's talk a little bit about you right now and a little bit about your life. This had to be a really, really weird year for you because you hurt your knee against the Chicago Bears. You tear your ACL September 20, and you go about 6 weeks before you actually have the surgery. You have the surgery late October in LA. And then for the last 2-3 months, I take it, you have been rehabbing. Can you sort of tell me the story about what your fall has been like and how different has it been for you in not playing football and instead rehabbing?
Oh yeah, definitely different. To be completely honest, it sucks, especially during football season. Sundays are probably the best and worst day because I get to go watch my guys go out there and ball. But at the same time, miss it and wish that I was able to be out there with them and be able to help them win some games. But yeah, got hurt against Chicago, tore my ACL. Um, 6 weeks, had to wait 6 weeks to get surgery. So I let my MCL heal and scar pretty well. That was the idea before I got surgery. But I guess you could say those 6 weeks makes it feel so much longer. But right now, just in rehab, you got to start over. You got to teach yourself how to get your balance. You got to teach yourself how to walk, and the steps and steps and steps after that. But I think this process is going to help me into a better person, not just a better player. It's teaching me a lot, teaching me patience. Especially during the rehab process, you got to be patient. You can't just go out there and push it too much. You got to know when to push it and when to pull off. And there's those days that you might be down a little bit, but you can't let those days impact you. Those days you might feel down. It's kind of like competing with yourself. Your body is challenging yourself, and it's who you're gonna be in that day, who you're gonna be in that moment. And I think that applies to not just only football, but also in life.
Let's go back to September 20 on the field at Soldier Field in Chicago. Did you know right away?
Yeah. I didn't know what I did, but I knew I never felt that in my knee or never felt that at all in my life.
What was the sensation?
It was just like a weird, like people say they hear pop. I didn't hear pop, but it was just like a weird, like the best way I can explain, and I remember just, it was Eddie made a tackle. He got in on me, and I was trying to like throw him by to stay in balance and keep going. And my knee just
kind of Eddie Jackson.
Yeah. And my knee just kind of just gave out on me, and I remember being on the sideline, and you hear the hooting and hollering because he made a play on me, but I guess people realized when that I was actually banged up, and you just the stadium's already quiet because no one was there, and it gets even more quiet than that, and then at the moment the doctors came and they did the trainers came and doc came and they did a test on my knee. But even before the test, I knew something bad happened. That's why I like punched the ground. I was kind of more like just upset with myself, to be completely honest.
Did they tell you right away that they thought it was your ACL?
They don't tell you right there. They like give the look. They
Sorry
it's
for
kind of like
laughing.
it's okay. It's not like they're like, well, they look at you and like you tore your ACL. Like they do the test and they look at you and then they look at each other and like they kind of nod and you're kind of like okay. And then when you try to get up, you try to walk, you can't walk. And you kind of realize. But for me, they told me in the back, in the locker room when I was back there, and probably the lowest point in my life. To be completely honest, I'm laughing about and smiling about it now because I can see myself in that moment and how I was acting in that moment. But everything happened for a reason, and obviously I wish that it never happened. But like I said, not only I think it's gonna make me a better football player, I do think it's gonna help me just overall as a person.
What is interesting in hearing you say that is that I've always thought when guys get hurt, especially really early in the season, that's got to make it even worse because you didn't have a chance. I mean, you played whatever 5 quarters all season. It wasn't like it was late November and you've played 12 games.
Yeah.
And so you really, not only are you out for the season, you didn't do almost anything in this season. So man, you're going to go a long time without playing much football.
Yeah, it drives you insane. To be completely honest, you want to lose your mind. But like you said, I think in general, no matter when you get hurt, especially when it's an injury that you sit out the rest of the year or you have to get surgery and miss the season, whether it's week 1 or week 14 or week 12, I think that they're still awful. But yeah, you're right. I put in a lot of hard work this off season. I felt like it was probably one of my better off seasons, and I felt like I was very strong, very fit. My body was in great form. I really thought, throughout the season I was going to be able to have a big year, for my team. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I got hurt. But like I said, everything happens for a reason.
There was 40 days between the time of your injury and the time of the surgery. Was that COVID related?
Oh, well, I didn't even know I didn't know it was 40 days, but no. So I did my MCL too.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to, I didn't have to get. Some people do their MCL and you have to go in there and get surgery on it. They just my MCL healed on its own, and like it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to let the MCL heal when you do that. So that was the thought process of it, was let that heal on its own and let it scar in pretty well, and then open the knee up and go in and replace the ACL.
I would think that in that time that you're waiting to have the surgery, I wonder if your mind is playing tricks with you. Like, come on, let's get it done. I want to start rehab and I want to get going and start to get ready again. Were you really anxious to have the surgery, and was it playing any tricks on your mind?
Definitely playing tricks, but you start rehabbing the next day. To be completely honest, it's prehabbing, I guess you could say, because you got to rehab the MCL and treat the MCL like you just tore it, and you got to like basically treat it like if you were going to be out 4 to 6 weeks and come back and be able to play in the season. So that's what I had to do. I'm happy that we did that. I think that was the best thing for my knee. It sucks because it makes it feel like I'm 3 months out of surgery. It makes it feel like I'm actually been 4 to 5 months out of surgery, but I'm not. So like when you're in your rehab process and you know that they put the goals and where you want to reach and try to get to, you realize that you're not, like, in your back of your mind, you're like, well, I did all this. I tore my ACL September 20th, but no, I actually didn't get surgery until October 30th. So I guess you could say it plays tricks with you in the beginning, but it was something that was needed, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. And I'm glad that my MCL healed really well.
I've heard players who've had major knee surgery talk about how depressing it is from the standpoint that you are in the middle of the biggest team sport there is, and then all of a sudden you're gone, you're an outsider, next man up, Now it's Wayne Gallman's turn, and hey, good luck, Saquon, but we got to play. How is that for you as a high achieving athlete your whole life to sit there and watch your team play football without you?
Definitely hard. Definitely was hard. It sucked. You know, uh, it kind of like it's weird. And I kept saying like, especially when we started playing well, like you're kind of like jealous in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like in a way that you're like, oh, like they're playing good without me. No, it's like you're so happy for them, but like you want to be part of it because you've been part of it so long. So that definitely was a challenging thing, but to be honest, it motivated me. Especially when we started playing well, especially when the running game started going, and we got the running game going. Um, you know, it motivated me during my rehab and during my process. And I was in LA rehabbing for a little bit, but I kind of missed being in the facility. Just even though with COVID,
It had to be weird watching the games on
yeah,
TV.
exactly. So with COVID, it was harder, but I missed it. So I kind of came back and just started rehabbing with the Giants, and obviously we have an amazing staff, so rehab with them, and it kind of allowed me to be around the guys way more than I was within the first 4 weeks of my rehab.
You had to be really happy watching because look, at the start of the year, kind of everybody thought this was just going to be a kind of a bridge year with a new coach. But you're watching the games and after a while you say, "Man, we're really pretty good. Look at
Yeah,
this defense."
yeah.
So I have to believe that you're looking at this team and saying, "Hey, there's no reason why we can't be really good this coming year."
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's weird why other people aren't looking at it the same way. We were in a lot of those games, and we finished the year, especially mid-season, finished the year how we wanted to be. At the end of the year, we were able to put ourselves in position to play for a playoff game, and we had to win the game to make it to the playoffs. We did that. We did what we needed to do there. Unfortunately, the Washington football team, were able to beat the Eagles, and we were kicked out. So we got to learn from that moment that we got to go back and have amazing offseason. And when the start of the season happens, start off the season so much more better that we're not in that position. But I think it shows so much talent, so much growth in our team. What we have, the offensive line coming together, Daniel Jones playing really well, our defense playing lights out. I think that started showing throughout the season. And I believe, hopefully I can come back and be not just who I was before, but even better. And DG and Joe and all those guys are going to add some more pieces. I think we can really be a great team next year, in my opinion.
We'll end with this. So when you show up in training camp, whatever, August 1st, let's say, that's still 5-6 months from now. But do you have any fear that you're not going to be as good as you were before? Or who will you be, do you think, this summer, this fall with the New York Giants?
No, I don't have any fear about that at all. I just don't think that's the way you can operate it at all. To be honest, those thoughts don't even cross my head. The thoughts that do cross my head is nothing but positive thoughts. And to be honest, I foresee hopefully that I can come better for my team. And the way I do that is just coming by every single day. The days I had rehab, attack it. Work on the little things. And I think if you take care of the little things, everything else is going to take care of itself.
Saquon Barkley, thanks so much for joining me. Good luck in beating the world at Fortnite, and I'll have to watch from afar because I certainly can't compete with you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.